Las Vegas and updated the wording so it sounds better.
Will you grab me a different hat?
We're live here from the Henry's Fork Foundation. Thanks for joining us here this evening. And we're going to give it just a couple minutes before we get rolling. We're going to start with what is becoming a HFF tradition, and that's some of Brady Taylor's dad jokes. So if you could start us out.
Yeah, we've got a couple good ones here tonight, pretty fresh. So Brandon, what do you call a fish with no eyes?
Fish with no eyes. You know, honestly, I've been trying to practice for these so I could actually answer them, and I'm still just not that good at them, and I don't know.
It's an FSH. Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. Is that the only one you got for us, or can we get one
more? I got some more.
Let's do one more before we go.
So, why is fishing such a good business?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
The net profits. Right?
we better stop there for now then.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead and get this started.
Okay.
So I'm Brandon Hoffner. I'm the executive director at the Henry's Fork Foundation. Welcome to everyone this evening that's joining us from all over, is what I've heard. For those of you that aren't here in Ashton or in Henry's Fork country, after a week of cold and rain, we now have some sunshiny weather, which we're enjoying. But I want to start off by saying cheers. Hopefully you've got your Harry and David's basket, maybe a little wine and cheese and meat and crackers, and you're enjoying that. If you don't have that, maybe another beverage of some kind. But we just want to once again thank you for taking the time to be with us this evening. This is part 2 of our membership meeting. We had part 1 back on May 29th. We even had a meeting before that virtually back in April. And so we've just used these as a way to reach out to folks due to the fact that we can't get together right now. We do hope to see you in the future at one of our events, and Brady will have some more information on that. A couple more thank yous. I want to thank the staff for working so hard on these series of events and putting this stuff together. A lot of staff members have put their time and effort in this, and they've really put together a nice series. Looking forward to wrapping that up this evening with part 2 of this membership meeting. Tonight, I also want to thank Seth Davison with Handbid. Handbid is helping us with our auction, and Seth is helping us manage our flow of meeting tonight. So thank you to them. Yeah, so instructions. You want to go over the instructions, Brady?
Sure. So yeah, on your computer browser, or if you're on the app itself, you can see there's different tabs, different categories for bidding. You just scroll through there and find the different things you're looking for. Tonight's not our big event. We've only got about a dozen items in there, kind of testing out the new software. And so far the bidding's been really good, but still some deals to be had there. So just scroll across, and then you can go down and see if there's anything in there that is interesting to you. And just so you know, it's going to end at 7 o'clock sharp. So get your bid in before then. 7 o'clock Mountain Time.
Okay, great. So for this evening, we have kind of a mixture of things going on. We'll be talking about some of our auction items at different points. We're also going to have a little bit of trivia going on. And all of this will be happening in between some presentations. Our first presentation will be with Rob Van Kirk, Hydrology and Water Supply, coming from our Science and Technology program. We'll also have Cam Allison talking about our outreach and education program. And then the last presentation of the evening will be our South Fork initiative with Bryce Oldemeyer. At the end of this hand bid section, we will have an opportunity for you to come join us on Zoom. We'll put up a link. And if you want to ask questions, it'll kind of be an after party. And that'll be the opportunity for folks in the crowd to interact with us, ask questions, have that interaction. So looking forward to that at the end of the evening. I think it's probably then time to highlight our first item. So I'll turn it back over to Brady.
Yes, indeed. So this one, well, first of all, I want to give thanks to John Gaynor, one of our fabulous board members, for helping secure this this donation. A lot of different parts here. He lived in Vegas for many years, and that's how he's got all these sweet hookups. So here you have the opportunity. This is your Las Vegas Getaway, and you start off with some airline ticket vouchers. You just get a couple $100 to help you get there, and then a bunch of activities. So you get to stay 2 nights at the Cannery Casino, and I should mention that I was a purchaser of this trip last year with my wife, and we did this trip to celebrate our 25th anniversary. And we had a fantastic trip. I would highly recommend it. So you have 2 nights at the Cannery Casino. We added an extra night because my wife is such a party animal. And then also the hotel came with the food credit for $150. That's a funny, if you knew Amy, you would probably, realize that was sarcasm. So the food there was remarkable. And then you get to go shoot sporting clays. You get targets, cart and gun rentals for 2. I was glad that Amy she was glad that they had targets there and she didn't get to shoot at me. So that was good. Then we had a certificate for 2 for the tennis club. Amy's right here. She's going to come talk a little bit about her tennis lesson.
Hi, just gonna horn in here. All right, first of all, you guys, so much fun. We had such a blast on this trip. And for the tennis, I have high schoolers, middle schoolers who play tennis, and I really want to play. I mean, the last time I played was like middle school PP, so no, I don't play at all. And this guy at the All-American Tennis Club, John Gaynor's son-in-law, took me an hour and a half from knowing absolutely nothing to being able to really play. And the racket I got with it that comes with it was the envy of all my kids that play tennis. So it was amazing. We had a fantastic time. And don't forget that you also get a $300 gift certificate to the Las Vegas Jewelers. And Brady did good. He sat in the corner. He let me shop. I got pearls. It was so fun. So I just highly encourage you to check it out. We had a ball.
Yeah, and don't forget the high roller. So anyway, that's up for bid right now. And if you want to take a trip to Las Vegas, you'll enjoy it.
So the answer is just to put Brady in the corner. That's what I heard.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad that I learned that out of that section. So we're going to go right into our first presentation with Rob Van Kirk, and I'm going to let Rob take it away.
Well, great. Thank you, Brandon. There's no way I can compete with a Las Vegas Getaway. I'll tell you that. But I won't go hide in the corner either. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about just a broad overview this evening of HFF Science and Technology program. If you joined us at our first 2 virtual events this spring, we really got into the details of each individual project, but I never really stepped back and said, well, here's what the program is about. So we used to have a program we called Research and Restoration, but over the years it became apparent that we really do a lot more than research, which is really a look at a specific scientific question. We use science in a lot more ways than just researching a specific question. And of course, more recently, we've used more and more technology, for example, in our water quality program, which has a network of remote transmitting water quality data instruments all over the watershed. So we changed the name and we have a mission for the program. You can see that here: maintain and improve wild trout populations, water and aquatic habitat quality, stream flow, and fishing experience throughout the watershed. So I'll go to the next slide and talk a little bit about more about how we do that. So the program components just align with the mission: water quality and aquatic ecology. You can see hydrology, fisheries. And the one about fishing experience is where we use social science and economics. And that's been a really important program component for the last several years. I also added this voice of the river component, not because it's necessarily a science program, but because the staff of the science and technology program are the ones who actually carry out that Voice of the River mission. And that's just where we keep an eye on the river. We look at things like construction projects like Ora Bridge, make sure there's access the whole time during the project, make sure that construction activities don't harm the river. So we do that. Staff wise, we have 6 people, including myself, who work exclusively in the science and technology program: Matt Hively, Jack McLaren, Christina Morissette, Melissa Moradian, and Amber Roseberry. And then we have 4 other staff members here at HFF who work partly in the science and technology program. That's Cam Allison, BC Contour, Jamie Lodge, and Bryce Oldemeyer. You'll see 4 of these names have asterisks by them, and those are people who started their career at the Henry's Fork Foundation as interns. Jack and Christina were interns here. Christina in 2015, Jack in 2016. Amber was an intern last year, and Cam in 2018. And so the internship program has served as a great farm system for adding really high quality employees to our program. And we actually have grown and expanded our capacity greatly because of the internship program. And Cam's going to talk more about the internship program itself in a second. Okay, so now how do we meet our mission? Well, it's really boiled down to one thing here, and that is keep water in Island Park Reservoir. We've learned over the years that that's the easiest way to meet our mission. Go back a slide there, Seth, if you can, thanks. So why do we do that? I mean, a few years ago, decade ago, 15, 20 years ago even, we knew that if the reservoir stays full, then winter flow out of the dam during the winter is higher, and that leads to higher trout recruitment. But in the last few years, we've learned a lot of other stuff. Of course, if more water stays in the reservoir, that means less coming out of it during the summer, which means better flows during fishing season, lower sediment transport, better water quality, and cooler temperatures. Well, then we also know that if water stays in the reservoir, that leads to better water quality in the reservoir itself, which leads to higher fish survival there. And of course, those are the fish that both trout and kokanee that run up into the upper Henry's Fork. Finally, keeping the reservoir full allows more hydroelectric power production, more water management options when things come up, like the ability to run a little freshet flow in the spring to mobilize sediment out of the Harriman Ranch reach, and more certainty for the water users. So it's good all the way around for everybody. So how do we do that? That's on the next slide here. We have 3 main ways. One is precision water management, and that's done through the Henry's Fork Drought Management Planning Committee. The committee sets a overall strategy for the year, whether it be the irrigation season or the fall or the winter, how we're going to fill the reservoir. The Henry's Fork Foundation provides predictions and real-time data. A lot of that comes through my daily water report, and many of you get that already. But Bureau of Reclamation, Fremont Madison, other water users see that report every day. And then Reclamation and Fremont Madison Irrigation District implement the strategy given the predictions and the data that come out of our science program. We're also using water management infrastructure to help do this. Of course, the implementation is only as good as the infrastructure. So we're working with Fremont Madison Irrigation District and other and individual canal companies to provide better real-time data and more precise ways of managing water. For example, remote controlled head gates provide a lot of real-time ability for the water manager to actually make a change in a canal from his smartphone in real time. And the automated instrumentation we're installing gives them the precise water flow right at that minute. So here's a good example of the technology part. And then finally, on-farm water conservation, just reduce demand right at the source on the farm. So I'll close here with one more slide just to give you an update on where we are in water year 2020 so far. So Island Park winter flow was 532 CFS, way above the long-term average of 351 CFS. We actually sort of barely managed to get an average snowpack just right at the 9th inning. We got some cold, wet weather in April, and we actually did achieve average for a couple of days there before the weather got warm and melted all of it. In all, we ended up melting the snowpack, 9-10 days earlier than average. On April 1st, based on the conditions, then I predicted we'd have about 97% of average water supply. To date, it was 97% when I made this slide. It's now down to about 95%, but still pretty close to where I predicted. I still think draft of Island Park Reservoir will be needed next week, although as Brandon said, we just got some rain, and that bought us another week of water supply, so it was very timely. But sometime next week, probably we'll start drafting Island Park. I predict maybe the reservoir will end up 65% full, not quite as good as we did last year, but having to start draft a little bit earlier this year will cost us a little bit of water, but we'll still have well above average winter flow next winter. In the long run, things aren't looking all that great. There's drought conditions spreading all throughout the western United States. We're kind of on the edge of that. It's going to be dry here, at least according to the long-term predictions, but I don't see us going into a full-blown drought. So that's it for me. I'll hand it back to Brandon and Brady then.
Thank you, Rob. Really appreciate that presentation. And now it's time for our first giveaway, but you have to do a little work for it. This is Name That Stretch. So you need to send your name and the answer to the phone number you see on the screen via text. So we'll give everyone a minute here to start sending in answers. Brady will take the first text in with the right answer, and then what do they get, Brady?
So you're going to get this Sims hat, got a logo on it, and one of the Sims t-shirts that was made specifically for the Henry's Work Foundation, hat and t-shirt.
Awesome.
No one's texted. Come on now.
Somebody has to know where that picture is taken from.
Where are we? Name that stretch. I'll give you a hint. It's on the Henry's Fork. Ooh, I got one person that said the ranch. Ooh, which was not quite specific enough, but we're going to have to go with, ooh, wait, all of a sudden it's rolling. And the winner is going to be Wood Road. Brian Schwind is the winner. Oh, I got a whole bunch of people that joined in. A lot of people got this one, but Brian Schwind, winner, chicken dinner.
There we go. Awesome. Now up, following that giveaway is our next auction item. Looks like a pretty good time to me, and I'll let Brady tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so here you have you and a guest get to go out fishing with Andy Jenkins, one of our current board members and guide at Henry's Fork Anglers. I know he's been at Henry's Fork Anglers for more than 10 years. Before then, he was guiding in Southern California. Fantastic board member, individual. You'll just have a blast with him. And you get 3 nights lodging at our Green Drake Suite here at the Henry's Fork Foundation office. And it's a pretty nice little place. Has your own little kitchenette, bathroom, private bathroom, bed, all the stuff you need. And it's good for this year. Not for June, though. June's pretty booked up for him. But, and depending on when you want to do that this year, you could either be on the Henry's Fork here, the South Fork, the Teton, or the Madison. He'll take you anywhere. So I know that we've got a few bids on this one already. It's bidding up pretty well. But check this one out. It's you'll have a great time with Andy.
Thank you, Brady. And so up next, we have one of those former interns going to present on education and outreach. So I'll turn it over to Cam Allison, and Cam's been a great addition to our Henry's Fork Foundation staff. She also takes care of our building, along with Julie and Sydney. So and our boats and our equipment. So she has a lot of different roles here that she's kind of helping with.
Thanks, Brandon. Like you said, I'm Cam Allison, and I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator. And I'm going to be talking to you about some of our education and outreach programs that we have. I want to start out by saying that this picture was taken last year at the Buffalo Fish Ladder. This isn't any particular program that we have. This is just what happens when we're out on the river and in the field. A lot of our outreach isn't planned. It's just involving interested people in the work we do and sharing the good word. These were some out-of-state visitors that hadn't heard of the foundation before, but were curious as to what we were doing. And so we got them involved and got some kids involved in the work, and we were able to tell them all about the foundation. As I said, this was last year. This year we can't get quite so close to one another, but we still have those opportunities to share from a good social distance about what we're doing with those we meet on the river. And so I'll be talking about our programs generally, but also I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing this year to accommodate for the circumstances that we're all dealing with coronavirus. So first up, many of you have had the opportunity to come in and see our interpretive center. It allows anyone that comes in to see what we do and who we do it with and the why behind all of it. In our interpretive center, we have exhibits and displays that highlight things like the aquatic web of life, hydrology and water, agriculture, hydropower, and the local history of Ashton. And we also have a fish tank that has local species of trout in it. We have a virtual reality boat ride, but we have decided to discontinue that for this summer due to health and safety reasons. But everything else is up, and we have some virtual displays that we're planning on having some of our interns work on adding some things to this summer. And we're going to continue to improve and add things to the interpretive center so that even if you've been through it before, you still have something new and exciting to look at. Next, I wanted to highlight that because we understand how important the next generation's role is in taking care of the river, we have several educational programs with younger grade school kids. This is the My Amazing Future program at Idaho National Laboratory. It is an event for 8th grade girls from all over southeastern Idaho, and it introduces them to all sorts of different STEM careers. Jen Vincent from Idaho Fish and Game joined me, and we did some turbidity experiments. We led a workshop, and Jen led the girls through a fish dissection, and it was a lot of fun. Another way we reach out to the youth and the local community is with Trout in the Classroom and our Youth on the Fly program. Trout in the Classroom is a program where we teach local 5th graders about the life cycle of a trout, and they're able to raise their own trout in the classroom from the egg stage to the fingerling stage. And then at the end of the year, on a big field trip that we do, they get to release those trout. Unfortunately, we had to end the program, or at least the teaching in person part of the program, early this year. But we did continue to send home fun worksheets and reviewed information we learned and sent home some new information with them. Youth on the Fly takes place in the late summer, and it connects professional fly fishing guides with local students to increase their participation in fly fishing. And it's often the first experience that a lot of these kids have with fly fishing. It's made exclusive to the Ashton Elementary students that just finished the Trout in the Classroom curriculum. This year we have canceled the event, but we are planning to give the kids that don't get to go this year the opportunity to attend next year's Youth on the Fly event. And now the last program that I wanted to highlight is our internship program. And this is an internship program that's been going for over 3 decades now. We had our first intern from Washington and Lee in 1989. And we've learned and we've grown every year since then. Our internship program this year just started at the beginning of last week. We have all 6 of our interns are attending this meeting tonight, and 4 of our interns this year are remote. 2 of our interns are joining us here in person starting next week. So the intern's picture and a short bio is up on the website if you want to learn more about the work that they're doing this summer and who they're working with. Each of our interns are working on an independent project with a member of our staff acting as their professional mentor. And then they'll present the results of whatever their independent project is at our summer seminar series, which besides being a fun tongue twister, is a weekly event that's open to the public where a lot of presentations are shown showcasing the latest scientific, technological, and socioeconomic work being done. And guest speakers from around the country present at these seminar series. And then at the end, the last 3 weeks, the interns gave presentations about what they did over the summer. And as I said, this is public. It's shared virtually on Tuesdays at 4, and the schedule and the links to attend the virtual meetings are up on our website. And then lastly, I just wanted to say thank you. All of these amazing programs we run are made possible by you, our members. These are just some of the education and outreach programs that we have. We have several others, and all of these programs we have make a big impact, and we simply couldn't do it without you. If you have any questions, I think there will be time for that at the end, but you can also contact me with any of those questions you might have. And I will send it back over to Brady and Brandon.
Thank you, Cam. Appreciate that. Do want to remind folks, as Brady had mentioned, that the auction closes at 7 p.m. You'll have a few minutes after this presentation and during our after party on Zoom to finish up your bidding, but don't want you to forget that at 7, that's going to close down, and everything you see here tonight will no longer be available. So appreciate the bidding that's going on. And in fact, Brady, do you have any progress report for us?
We do. We've had some nice donations come in already. I know that all the items have a bid on them except for the Las Vegas package, so that's still available. That starting bid's $1,000. And so on our auction alone, we're already over $7,000 raised tonight on the auction. And as far as cash donations, we're well over $8,000. I want to give a special thank you to Jack Roberts for a $5,000 donation, Paul Schmidt for a $1,000 donation, Jesse Lowe gave $1,000, Scott Yates $250, Jonathan Williamson $500. And so probably a good transition to talk about Raise Your Hand for the River. What do you think, Brandon?
I agree. This is an important piece of this evening, that's for sure.
But before we do that, I want to tell you a dad joke, Brandon.
I thought maybe we were going to be done with those for the evening, but no. Let's go ahead and do one more.
I keep you loose. So, I remember back in the day, you were kind of into rap. So this is a Snoop Dogg one. You ready?
Let's do it.
And it's kind of timely because we've had some bad weather. Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella? Faux drizzle. You should have got that one. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, with that, it's probably best to move on, right?
Yes, let's move on. And although I do want to tell you that I saw your what does the fish say when it runs into the concrete wall?
Oh yeah.
I saw that somewhere else actually. And so I was kind of proud of you. Yeah, it's in pop culture now.
That's good. So here's an opportunity. You'll see one of the tabs on the app or on the website that you can make a donation to Raise Your Hand for the River. And really, this just supports the work that you're hearing about tonight. And we couldn't do any of this without you. We depend on our membership significantly for the work that we do. We do receive some grants for specific projects, but we rely on the membership, you all, to keep things going day to day. So as a gift for giving $100 to the foundation, you'll receive a pair of these wine tumblers, Yeti wine tumbler 2-pack for $100. So that's a nice thank you gift for a $100 donation. For a $250 donation to Raise Your Hand for the River, you will receive this Yeti half-gallon Rambler. Very nice. Keeps water cool. I've been told for well over 2 days. So very handy to have, a half-gallon Rambler. Keep yourself hydrated. For a $500 donation, you receive the new and improved M30 cooler. And this is a hopper cooler. What's cool about this is that the old ones had a zipper on top. This one's magnetic. And so it's just, honestly, you can get in and out of this thing a lot easier when you're in the boat or wherever you are. And it's fantastic. So I love this thing. And then at the $1,000 level, you receive all of the Yeti gear and an additional 2 wine tumblers. So for $1,000 donation, you receive all the Yeti gear, which is fun, really fun. And we're grateful to Yeti for helping us with these products there. They've become really good partners with us. So $2,500 and a different different options there. You have your choice of an Able Bio Reel or a Winston Pure rod. The Bio Reel is unique. We only had 25 of these done. It's got the Henry's Fork Foundation logo on it, hand anodized. So they're dipping these by hand to get that rainbow trout print on there. So you have your choice of that. It's an Able Bio Reel. It's a 4.5. And then you have your choice of a Winston Pure rod. This is a fantastic dry fly rod. It's a 2 to 5 weight, so you have your choice there. Then if you decide to give at $5,000, you receive both the rod and the reel. It's an amazing pairing, and we would just love to see folks out there representing the foundation with this rod and reel. The rod also will have, be inscribed with the Henry's Fork Foundation. So those are the options today. Raise your hand for the river, and if any of those levels don't work for you, certainly feel free to put in any amount, and we're grateful for your support. And like we said, we could not do it without you. So you can do that at any time. Make those pledges anytime.
Yeah, that's a really good lineup there, Brady. And I think it's worth saying again that we do receive grant funding, but it's not the bulk of what we receive. And the grant funding that we do receive, Raise Your Hand for the River helps provide the match for that. You're able to leverage these dollars. Your dollars go further because of the work we're out there doing, securing those grant funds and finding other sources of funding. So we appreciate that help because it allows us to do more, most definitely. I think it's time though for another giveaway.
It is time for our second giveaway. So this giveaway, this is the stretch right here you're looking for, and you'll receive this hat. It's a different Henry's Fork Foundation hat, and with the same shirt. Well, not the same shirt. That'd be hard to share with another individual that won it. But this is the shirt that you'll receive, as well as the hat, and still same number. Now this is a little trickier one, and I won't give you a hint yet until we see if we're struggling. Had a guess for the Box Canyon. That's not right. But
is this a Devon Entz photo?
This is a Devon Entz photo. Yes. Probably should let people know this is in the watershed, but not the Henry's Fork.
I think that's a fair clue at this point. That's a fair clue. Are you getting any rolling in?
Someone said on the snake somewhere. Yes. Also not right, but thanks for trying. Oh, we've got a winner.
Oh, good. I was getting concerned.
Jerry Nielsen said the Teton River. Oh, and Leslie was like 2 seconds behind. Oh, sorry, Leslie. You're so close. So, Jerry, you win this T-shirt and hat. Well done, Jerry.
Okay, so we have another presentation coming up with Bryce Oldemeyer. He's going to talk to you about our South Fork initiative. Take it away, Bryce.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon and Brady. Before I get to the South Fork initiative, I do a little bit of fundraising too, and I came up with a new auction lot level item, which is $15,000. Will get you dad joke proof earplugs. So these are really special, top quality. Right now, this is just a prototype, but I'm in development. So yeah, if you want to donate and do it for a great cause and get a great gift, here you go. So on to the meat and potatoes of tonight. We'll get to the South Fork Initiative. So I'm the program manager for the South Fork Initiative. The program started about 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago when a group of concerned guides, outfitters, local citizens approached the Henry's Fork Foundation and asked if we are willing to expand our approach to data-driven collaborative management over to the South Fork, with the goal of ultimately conserving, protecting, and restoring the unique fishery and watershed over there. And for a number of reasons, the primarily how closely tied the fisheries are together and water management in the system. 2 years ago, we expanded over the South Fork and pulled that into our fold for the Henry's Fork Foundation under the South Fork Initiative program. So 2019 was the first year, first full year for the program, and it's kind of short time for the presentations today. So I'm just going to hit on 3 of the main highlights in my view for the first full year. And this was establishment of long-term monitoring programs, which are really essential and foundational for developing data-driven management recommendations and solutions. We've been able to jump right into some restoration project with great collaborators. So there's a lot of potential in the South Fork for doing restoration projects to help improve native trout habitat. And the last thing that's been really fantastic for 2019 is how great our collaboration and extension of the Henry's Fork over the South Fork has been, and the overwhelming community support and involvement that people have had for the South Fork Initiative program. So getting into the long-term monitoring programs that we've established, just like the Henry's Fork, there's a couple key programs that we do either annually or it's equipment that's in the river all the time collecting really important data. So in 2019, we did our first round of macroinvertebrate sampling. So we went out and sampled bug compositions throughout the South Fork, and we plan to do this over time so we can get a good idea of how bug compositions are changing under different conditions and keeping an eye on that. So you can't manage something if you're not monitoring it. So you have to know what's going on in the system. So this is really crucial data for a lot of the management recommendations and ideas that we're going to try and develop to either protect or preserve or improve the fishery and the ecosystem. So kind of coupled with that is trying to understand what's impacting, go back one sec, sorry. So to couple with that, we've set up water quality monitoring sites as well. So we've got one that's transmitting data back to our website currently, another one that is sending data to the office in the lower South Fork site, which will be live probably next week or the week after. And we've got one more that's going to be installed later this year for the Canadian South Fork. So this is really important information that, just like you've heard from Rob over the last few presentations and a lot of the other science and research folks at the Henry's Fork Foundation, this is instrumental in understanding the system, understanding how the reservoir impacts the river during different times of the year, how tributaries impact the river, and it lets you understand what's going on so you can develop effective management strategies. So that's really important programs for long-term management and for the South Fork Initiative. So the other program that we have going on, or that we've been able to jump right into, is restoration projects. So the South Fork has 4 major tributaries that are used heavily for Yellowstone cutthroat trout spawning and rearing. 3 of these tributaries have between 900 to 2,000 adult Yellowstone cutthroat trout that use them annually to go up and spawn, where Rainy Creek has 30 adult cutthroat trout annually. And this is the largest of the 4 tributaries as well. So the reason that it's suspected that Yellowstone cutthroat trout abundances are so low in Rainy Creek is that there's been a lot of agricultural and ranching practices historically in the lower 4 to 5 miles of Rainy Creek, and Yellowstone cutthroat trout have been seen and documented trying to use this habitat, and it's just not very good. So there's a lot of opportunity to do restoration projects down here that can have huge benefits to the cutthroat trout population in the South Fork as well as Rainy Creek. So if you'll go to the next slide, Seth. So I've said we a whole bunch for these restoration projects, but really this is a collaborative effort. There's no way that just the Henry's Fork Foundation South Fork Initiative would be able to undertake these projects. It's a huge collaborative effort with Forest Service, Fish and Game, Fish and Wildlife Service, other NGOs, and the support from various grants and other organizations has been instrumental in really helping set up projects that are through a design and assessment phase, projects that are going to be underway later this fall, and projects that we're lining up for the next 2 or 3 years to come. So this is going to be an ongoing effort, and it's a large and ambitious goal to restore these 4 or 5 miles, but we plan to keep plugging away at it over the next few years and see where we can get. It's been a huge success so far, and we're going to be restoring between a half to a mile of Rainy Creek this year and various other small tributaries to Rainy Creek. So again, it comes down to a lot of these partnerships and the community support. So that's the other thing. My last bullet that I want to highlight for tonight is that the being able to expand what the Henry's Fork has built over the last few years with partnerships, with state, federal agencies, different NGOs in the region, being able to expand those networks and that community and collaboration over to the South Fork has been seamless and highly successful. And it's just been a fantastic year to be able to do this. And the community support, we've got a fantastic South Fork Initiative Committee, a group of individuals that are really dedicated that have helped move this along, as well as all the support from the Henry's Fork Foundation staff and the employees. So it's been just a fantastic opportunity. And unfortunately, that fish right there, I didn't actually catch that. That was a really nice brown that was caught when we were doing population estimates with the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. So again, they needed some help collecting really important long-term population data. And we were able to lend a hand since we're working over there and help them out. So with that, if anyone has any questions, follow up. We'll have the Zilla meeting after this, but here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. So I think going back to Brandon and Brady.
Great. Thank you, Bryce. As you can see, we're still working with Bryce on his art skills, probably on the, what incentives go with what gift level, but overall, he's doing a fantastic job. He's starting to understand philanthropy, just a little ways further to go in the whole grand scheme of things. But we'll continue to work with Bryce, and we appreciate his good effort.
Yeah, he needs a little more seasoning.
So I think we have our last giveaway of the evening
yes,
to do
we
now.
do. And just a reminder, the auction's going to end at 7, so we got a few more minutes here. I do want to give a couple more shout out to people that make some donations, and thank you to Lyman Casey donated $2,500, and George Borco came in at $1,000. So
thank you, Lyman and George.
So right now we're well over $20,000 on this event tonight. So that's fantastic. We're really pleased with your response and your generosity. So here we are. Last giveaway, and the hat is one. This is a little throwback. Tall boy.
I like it.
Felt? No, foam. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got. Okay, Leslie's getting pretty good at this, but we need a little more specific, Leslie. You're close. You're close. Who sent this to me? Oh, yes. So our winner is Jack Thomas. You got it right. So the no-name right by Spring Creek Falls. So Jack Thomas. Well,
Boise Jack Thomas.
Boise Jack Thomas. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, and Leslie was so close again. She was second. Just right there. So Leslie, we'll
come up with something for Leslie.
Yeah.
I think we'll figure something out.
Yeah, she was so close. So with that, maybe we should do a dad joke in honor of Leslie. We're doing so good.
I think we should.
So Brandon, what is Forrest Gump's Facebook password?
Box of chocolates.
Close. 1 Forrest 1.
At least I put some effort forward that time.
That was a good guess. It was good.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where are we now? I think we're doing pretty good.
I think it's my turn to talk about some stewardship and collaboration.
Yes, indeed.
So just want to quickly highlight again, and really we've already talked about this evening. You've heard about the Drought Management Planning Committee. This is a picture from a Henry's Fork Watershed Council meeting, a field tour meeting. But whether it's, education and outreach, science and technology, the South Fork Initiative, Farms and Fish, or our fundraising, we can't do our work without some level of stewardship, collaboration, or partnerships. And so it's something that I kind of present on and highlight every year at the membership meeting. And it's just of vital importance to everything we do. That's how we make projects happen. It's how we put together the incentive packages that you see here this evening. And it's how we write grants. Just across the board, it's very, very important to the work we do. It's the glue that kind of holds everything together. And this would be at a local level. We heard about Ashton Elementary. State level, maybe Idaho Fish and Game. There's plenty of others. And at the federal level, Bureau of Reclamation. And of course, you've heard lots about Fremont Madison Irrigation District. Much of what we do for the Henry's Fork couldn't be accomplished without their help. So, here's a list of those partners, a list of folks that help us from a business perspective and from an agency perspective. And we're just very indebted to each one of those. To highlight something else we didn't discuss this evening, in our Farms and Fish program, we have a joint position with Friends of the Teton River, and BC Contour helps run that. We actually have two, and with Daniel Wilcox. But I would speak specifically to what BC does for us, bringing some technical expertise to both FTR, bringing that same expertise maybe for different types of projects to Henry's Fork Foundation, helping us communicate and work on projects together. And it ends up not being just about collaboration with FTR, but it gets layered because that ends up being collaboration with the Farm Bureau and with Fremont Madison Irrigation District and with the Water Resource Board. And so just important for us to continue to maintain, a presence as a collaborator and keep those things going. And we've also used it, our board helps us with this. Our board of directors has recently helped us, two different ads, one in the Trout Unlimited magazine, one in Drake magazine, and be able to just, thank people for helping us, let people know a little bit about the work we're doing. And that all comes from partnerships and collaboration between our board and contacts they have. So just a quick highlight of that. Once again, we appreciate all of our partners, everyone that makes our work possible. And we're kind of winding the evening down here. We'll fairly quickly, we'll be going on to a Zoom meeting, but just I do want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I guess not really coming out, for being here, for joining us, for making this evening a successful event. I'm very pleased to hear about the numbers we've got there, Brady. That's fantastic. And just to once again know that without our Henry's Fork Foundation community, we couldn't do the work you just saw there in the field with BC, some of our water quality monitoring. None of this would happen without you here being willing to give of your time and treasure and make these things possible. Do you have anything else about the auction that we need to relay on at this time, Brady?
Still bidding is strong. So we're grateful you guys are still with us and making donations. I would like to mention that something about our members, and we have over 2,500 members, and it's interesting that we do have at least one member from every state in the country. I was thrilled last year we got a member from New Hampshire, so that I can say that. And I'll tell you, I've been with the foundation for maybe 13 years this summer, and it's been a really enjoyable getting to know so many of you. And I was new to this community, and I just grateful you all took me in. And I've been fishing with many of you or seen you at many of our events. So I'm so happy to call you my friends. And it's amazing with how much we have going on in the world. It's just nuts right now that we can come to a place like the Henry's Fork, the South Fork, the Teton, these wonderful rivers in eastern Idaho that bring us together. And I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of that.
That's awesome. I'll second that. And I know that many of our staff would also chime in and feel the same way. So thank you again for joining us this evening. We're going to have Seth put up a link to our Zoom meeting. And so we'll just take a few minutes to transition over to that. And we'll have 10, 15 minutes of question and answer. We'll have some breakout rooms possibly. We'll kind of see how many people join us over there. And thank you again for making this evening a success. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone. And the auction, I think we have about 10 minutes and the auction will close.
So there is the link. Yeah, we had it up there. Seth is highlighting that. So great. If you could join us there, that'll be fantastic.
Well, Brandon, do you think we should do another dad joke while we're sitting here?
Sure.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
So, you know why bikes can't stand up on their own?
Gravity.
They're too tired. Good one.
Oh, great. I'm going to go find my Zoom link.
Okay.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.